What's up, everybody? Welcome to another week for the NFL. Let's get started with week 9. The first game that we are going to pick is the Houston Texans versus the New York Jets. The Jets are a mess right now. They're a joke. They're a big time mess. The Jets got Davante Adams 2 weeks ago, and that really hasn't made a difference. They're at home. They're 2-point favorites. It is a crazy time, and Houston is coming in good. It's Halloween night, but I think Houston wins. And yeah, the Jets' free fall continues their mess. The next game we are picking is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Cowboys were ahead against the 49ers, but then they were not in the third quarter. They got completely obliterated in the third quarter. They made a late rally, but it was mostly in garbage time, just to pad stats. I think Dallas loses this game. I think Atlanta beats Dallas, and Dallas's just defense is not very good. I think their losing gonna continue. All right. The next game is the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Now, Buffalo went into Seattle and destroyed the Seahawks pretty easily. The Dolphins lost on a last-second field goal to Arizona. Dolphins last time they played Buffalo earlier this season was, I think that was the game that Tua got injured. But regardless, um, this might be a shootout, close maybe, but I'm going with Buffalo to beat Miami. The next game, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the Raiders are a mess. Antonio Pierce is probably on the hot seat. Like a year ago, right? They got him and they were all pumped up because, he is good, right? Well, not this season. Yeah, and then you got the Bengals, who, I don't know what to think about the Bengals. The Bengals started out slow again. It seems like they like to start slow. Then you thought, okay, they get a couple wins. You think, oh, maybe they're back in it. And then they lose again. They're 0-4 at home. They're playing a Raiders team who isn't very good. But I'm going with the Bengals to finally win at home. And it might be a tough game. It might be close. I don't know if Higgins is playing or not. He missed last week's game for the Bengals. But, yeah, the next game, so I'm going with the Bengals to win, though. The next game, the Chargers going to Cleveland. Now, I don't know if I want to say this, but Cleveland looks a little better without Deshaun Watson. The Chargers have had offensive woes. They're having some issues. And I think the Browns can get a win here. So I'm going with the Browns to beat the Chargers. The next game, the Tennessee Titans versus New England Patriots. This is the battle for the ages, folks. The 1-6 Titans versus the 2-6 Patriots. Instant classic right here. I'm going with the Titans at home. The next game, the Washington Commanders versus the New York Giants. The Giants lost on Monday night to the Steelers. The Washington Commanders won at the last play of the game, the Hail Mary to beat Chicago. They played already before a few weeks ago. It was all field goals. The Commanders won. This will probably be another game like that. That's a divisional game, and I think Washington can win again. Next game, the New Orleans Saints and Carolina. Well, bad news for Carolina overall because they're 1-7, 0-3 at home. Andy Dalton got injured in a car accident, so Bryce Young getting the start again. Now he is not good. He is 2-17 as a starter. He's 0-2 this year. Could be 0-3 if he loses this. I think New Orleans, even without Carr, I think New Orleans wins. But it would not surprise me if somehow Carolina won the game. But I'm not going with it. The next game, the Denver Broncos and Baltimore Ravens. Now the Broncos are playing good now. All of a sudden. They started out pretty bad, and now they're looking good. They're 5-3, going up against the Ravens, who are also 5-3, who are just coming off a upset loss to Cleveland. I think Baltimore wins this game. I think Baltimore's defense will be able to make it a little bit tough for Bo Nix. Denver's not that bad of a team all of a sudden. It could be a close game, but I'm going with Baltimore to win. The next game, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I'm going with the Eagles to beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville is not very good. They do have good rookie in Brian Thomas Jr., but I don't think they're that good of a team, so they'll lose to the Eagles. The next game is the Arizona Cardinals hosting the Chicago Bears. This could be a shootout, possibly, or it could be a low-scoring game. Arizona finds themselves right now, currently, in first place in the NFC West. Chicago's coming off the tough loss to Washington, but I think in this game, I think Chicago's defense will shut down Murray a little bit, and Chicago will be able to win in the end. The next game, the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. Could be game of the week. Now, if Jordan Love plays, I know they say he's day to day or week to week, whatever. This could be a high scoring game. Detroit's doesn't, so far they're 3-0 on the road. I'm going to actually take Green Bay to win this game at home. The next game, there's LA Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, to be honest, the Seahawks look a little bad, right? They started 3-0, then they have been 1-5, 1-4 since in the last 5. They somehow upset Atlanta 2 weeks ago, but if you look at their schedule, yeah, okay, they beat Denver, they beat the Patriots, and they beat the Dolphins. At the time, all 3 of those teams were bad, and currently the Patriots are that bad, the Dolphins may be that bad, but the Broncos are the only one that makes it look like that was actually a good win, looking back at it now. So you would think Seattle, gets the win in Atlanta somehow, right? Played good. What do? They come home and get annihilated by Buffalo. The Rams started 1-4, right? Or something like that, right? They're playing better now They're 1.5-point favorites in Seattle. I'm going to take the Rams because you don't know if DK Metcalf will play this game. And the Seahawks have not overly looked very good. In this streak of the last 5, whatever, they only look good in one of the games. But they really haven't looked very good in any of the games. Geno's somewhat going back to his old Geno Smith self, turning the ball over, looking slow, looking like a guy for why he wasn't even a starter. You got the defense is hurt bad. The defense isn't even that good anyway. They can't stop the run. They really can't stop the pass. They may make, and I think the Rams got a good running back, Kyren Williams. They got Cooper Kupp is back. You got Nakua. Stafford's playing good still. Geno may lead and have one of the leaders in yardage, but he has 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, not very good stats. Whatever. That doesn't really matter. But I'm going with the Rams to beat the Seahawks. And unfortunately, going into the bye, Seattle will have a 2-game losing streak. And they will be 4-5 going into the bye. The next game is the Sunday night football game. It is Minnesota and Indianapolis. So, Indianapolis will be starting Joe Flacco. Anthony Richardson, I guess during the game last week, took himself out, whatever, because of fatigue, right? Well, let me tell you something. Everybody's fatigued in the NFL. Now, you're a rookie. You're supposed to, well, not really a rookie, right? You're supposed to be the leader of the team. And Anthony Richardson, I'm going to pull myself out. Well, what does that tell you guys? I don't know, but if I was a player on a team and a quarterback did that was supposed to be your leader, I would be like, wow, maybe he's not our leader after all. Now, I don't know what the issue really is, so don't quote me on that. Don't, whatever. I am going to, to Joe Flacco starting. Sometimes Joe Flacco made the Colts look good, right? Minnesota started 5-0 going into the bye week. They've lost 2 in a row. They lost to Detroit, and then they lost last week to the Rams. And so you may be thinking, there's no possible way Minnesota loses this game, right? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Joe Flacco will beat Minnesota. Give me the Colts to upset Minnesota at home on Sunday Night Football and drop the Minnesota Vikings to 3 straight losses. Will it happen? Who knows, but I'm going with it. And finally, the Monday night game, the Kansas City Chiefs, who somehow find a way to win every week, it seems like. No matter how bad Mahomes plays or the Chiefs' offense looks, they still manage to win. They're going up against Tampa Bay, who's beat up on, still got the receivers out. Godwin, hopefully he gets better soon, right? I know he's out for the rest of the season, so hopefully his recovery goes good. You don't like to see guys get hurt like that. Mike Evans still out. This could be a shootout, but I think Kansas City pulls it out in the end, and they might win by. I know they're favored by 9, but they may win by 14. So I'm going with Kansas City to beat Tampa. And there you have it, folks. Week 9 of the NFL. Catch you guys next time. See ya. Cyber Shadow out.